Hello everyone, going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and OMG tonight. Before I get into it, want to mention our chat room. I haven't mentioned it in the past just because a lot of people found it on their own and we really had a ton of people coming in and just wanted to kind of keep that from being overwhelming. But it's a community that we've created and it's through our website, TheChartGuys.com. If you want to check it out, we have a free week trial, no credit card, no nothing. You can just come on in and see if it's something that you'd like to be a part of. And we have a couple chat rooms for the cryptocurrency space, one for technical alerts and the other one for just general discussion. And there's a ton of really smart people in this room, and all the credit goes to all the other people in terms of the environment and community that we've created to facilitate really just everybody with the same goal of trying to learn technical analysis and profit during these moves. So we're always pointing things out to each other, and along with that, you'll get access to, a dozen hours of educational videos. So worst case scenario, you come in for a free week, you don't like it, you watch some educational videos, and you move on and keep watching these videos. So let's get into it. Bitcoin on the daily time frame. These bulls are going for an all-time high. We're going to test this all-time high this weekend. And this power move, this absolutely slingshot, pogo stick, whatever you want to call it, rocket ship, where we dumped. We got that entry on the 4-hour time frame. Certainly didn't anticipate to see a 4-day bull move following that, but we'll zoom in here on just a moment. And the candlestick that faked me out was the following candlestick. Let's just look at it now, the 4-hour time frame. This candlestick right here, this is the one that faked me out because it has a downtrend resistance line that I anticipated would reject the price because we broke key support. And so I was anticipating a lower high to form. That faked me out initially. I have since gotten back in and have been trading it again today. But this candlestick right here told me there was power behind this move. It was a huge green Marubozu candlestick. It had high bull volume behind it. And since then, it set the tone. And we're really on a one-way ticket to test these all-time highs. Right now, we're about 3.5% away from this all-time high. So the bulls are extremely strong. And we just had a really clear signal earlier today. I flipped Litecoin for a small trade. And other than that, just waiting for this move. And there was a resistance on Bitcoin that everybody and their mother was waiting on. And it was right here. And when you have a rejection from a resistance line time and time again, you know that every time we reject from that level, it becomes more clear to more traders. So I can confidently say that people around the world were all watching this resistance to break. And you can tell once it broke, the volume that poured in, everybody was using that as a signal. So we had resistance here at 42.48, 42.44. Another rejection at 42.44, and then there's your breakout, and we instantly ran up, at this point, over $100. So a very significant gain, and I ended up, my entry was on that resistance break. I sold once we got extended here on the 5-minute time frame, had to run around and do some errands and knew that we were so extended that we were likely to consolidate. And then I re-entered once we got this resistance break again. We had another double top at 43.50. So re-entered again, left maybe $15, $20 on the table, but that allowed me to have zero stress and just go about my day and come back and make some more profit. So the bulls are in full control. We are a little extended on some of these time frames, but again, when we're in your blue sky breakout mode, which we're not there yet, but the RSI levels are a lot less meaningful. So the hourly time frame, the RSI is fairly high. It's the highest we've seen since back in early August. But the bulls have all this momentum, and all the bulls are aware that we are on the verge of all-time high. So we're going to see bulls more likely to hold on to their positions to be looking for this all-time high. And looking on the 4-hour time frame, the RSI is approaching 70, but look in the past, all-time highs in the past, the RSI has blown up over 80. So that's not going to prevent me from making any kind of trades at this point, sitting pretty and just patiently waiting for this weekend to see if we do get this all-time high. A short-term red flag would be a break of this consolidation low. If 43.11 were to break before a new all-time high, that would be a bit disappointing for the bulls because that would mean we have to consolidate a little bit more long-term before we make it to that level. So again, back on the daily time frame, that all-time high is up at 44.69 and we just hit 43.69, so $100 is all that stands between us and a new all-time high. Look at this MACD. We are ready for a bullish MACD cross. It's going to take a few days, but if we do get this all-time high, we will be looking for the bullish MACD to cross along with it, and this is just a very significant move, and we'll be watching to see, can we drive it home here in the next 24 hours or so. So with this, with the all-time high coming close here, the bulls have all the attention in Bitcoin. And that's definitely hurting some names. Ethereum has a strong correlation with Bitcoin, so it is seeing some upside. It's just not the kind of upside that Bitcoin is seeing. So we have a clear bull break here. Let's see, we had a bull break at 323.80, and we're now up at 325.80. So a $3 move, that doesn't compare to the gains that you can see in Bitcoin, at least, and definitely doesn't percentage-wise. So the bulls are seeing upside. If you are in Ethereum, you're making money, but there is more money to be made in Bitcoin in this current situation. Resistance on Ethereum, let's zoom out. Daily time frame. So we had an inside bar bull break yesterday, and it's actually today that happened because today just flipped over an hour and a half ago, this new candlestick. So the bulls in control of Ethereum overall, enjoying the correlation with Bitcoin, but not seeing as much strength. We did have the dump when Bitcoin had a pullback, and now we have higher lows and higher highs. So the bulls definitely in control overall. We just had a 4-hour bull MACD cross again here. Haven't seen a ton of upside the last time it crossed, but definitely a signal that has provided big gains in the past. And in terms of the short term for Ethereum, a red flag would be if we break 321 support. If you're a longer term trader, you're looking at 315 as a key support on the 4-hour time frame. Resistance levels 328, and then we're looking at 330 psychological, 340 psychological, and the high of 344.34 that we hit. So Ethereum does have the difficulty of mining going up. There's speculation that would cause the price to go up to compensate for that. That remains to be seen. We'll have to see if that does happen. But again, I will always choose a blue sky breakout bull over a name that is not in blue sky breakout. Litecoin consolidation continues, and I did make a bull break here. I was watching this 15-minute time frame of a lower high. This is the one trade that I made today with a quick flip, just a 90 cents gain to lock in some profit on the day, and exited, and it's been a pullback ever since. There's a lot of downward pressure. I have been watching the order book because I have been very interested in Litecoin before Bitcoin took my attention, and you have to put yourself in position or the mindset of all these other traders where if, I'm a trader here and I'm jumping around where there's the most opportunity. And I was watching Litecoin because I liked the consolidation that was going on. I was watching the 4-hour time frame. This is healthy consolidation, looking for a move back up towards the recent top of 55 because Litecoin's within striking distance of its all-time high as well. Now it's down over 10% away from that level. But if I'm going to shift my attention away from Litecoin and onto Bitcoin now because it's so strong, I know a lot of other people are going to be doing the same thing. So we did see some downward pressure. There's a lot of selling going on in Litecoin right now. This is the hourly time frame, and I'm watching the high, the low of the pullback, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. We're getting very, very tight. A bear break would occur at 50.62. A bull break would occur at 52.49, 52.69, a couple resistance levels there. But it's just very tight. There's a lack of volume right now, and a lack of bullish buying pressure is what I have noticed. So that had me leave. There's no reason to leave if you are a long position or if you're patiently waiting, but I just saw, greener pastures elsewhere, so I went over to Bitcoin. So in terms of a key support breaking, 50.23 breaking would be a red flag, as that would give back a significant portion of the breakout yesterday, and we did already give back a significant portion. We pulled back about 9% from the high, and now we're just trying to reach that equilibrium and find a new price range. OMG, the bulls are strong here on OMG. I'm covering this name because we're close to a bull break. Still in an equilibrium pattern, though. We have our all-time high, low of the pullback, lower high, higher low. You can see how common this pattern is, this equilibrium pattern. It happens after breakouts and breakdowns all the time. So the current resistance I'm watching is 868, followed by 890, and then the all-time high. And the key supports on the daily time frame, the most major support is down at 680. You zoom in the 4-hour time frame for more details. I can see that there's a key support down at 770, key resistance at 868. Those are the tightest ranges to be watching, and the bulls have a slight upward trend here, so they do have a little bit of momentum, but that momentum will see a volume spike if we can break this lower high pattern. So that is the range to be watching right now, and depending on which breaks first, you then go to the next range. Where did we top out before? Where did we bottom out before? Those are the next support and resistance levels you would look at. So overall, OMG bulls have the upper hand, but we could trade sideways and in this tightening range for a couple more days still. There's nothing saying that we have to make a bull break right now. So patiently waiting, if you are not in a position, perhaps patiently waiting for a clear bull break and clear bull momentum before getting into this position. And I really like the way that this chart looks on the 4-hour time frame the most. It's very concise and clear where these levels are and where we stand compared to them. So one more quick rundown here. It's a quicker video, but Bitcoin all-time high test in the near-term future. We are only a few percentage points away from that. We are consolidating again on the 15-minute time frame. There is a decent amount of resistance on psychological levels, 43.70, 43.80, and I'm looking at GDAX where there's just some shares or some coins on those levels, a decent amount of coins. So the order book definitely has a bunch of resistance on it. And key support again, 43.11 in the short term. If you are longer term on Bitcoin, you are not concerned unless we see a break really of 41.86. Of course, nobody wants to see it pull back that much, but that's a lot more wiggle room in terms of where we would stop out if we were in a bullish position and wanting to protect ourselves. So again, Ethereum, seeing the correlation with Bitcoin, but just slower and less gains. Resistance is going to be 328, a break of 328. There's some nice upside potential because of the lack of resistance up in this range. Just blew right through resistance on the way up, so we didn't establish a bunch of resistance on the way back down. So 328, the key level to break here. And Litecoin favoring the bears slightly because we are closer to a bear break than a bull break on this tightening pattern, but we are still tightening and definitely keeping an eye on Litecoin. Litecoin is definitely one of the most news-driven names where tweets can see significant upside, but the reason that these moves don't last very long is because it is thinly traded, and there are a lot of traders on this name that want to hop in and out quickly, and I am one of them, and the longs certainly don't like us, but if the longs don't like us and didn't want us playing, you would not see these kind of moves on breakouts. That's definitely a lot of traders jumping in and pushing that momentum. So I hope you all have a good night. Going to continue plugging away at the course this weekend, and really it'll probably be the first week in September. Was aiming for the end of August, but not going to try and rush things and inhibit, wrong word, but make the content less valuable. Every time I make a slide and start a subject, I really go down a rabbit hole where there's just so much I can talk about, and my initial goal was 2 hours long, and it's going to be closer to 5 hours at this point. So taking my time there, making sure it's the quality that I want it to be, and really looking forward to putting that out. I think it's going to be very helpful to a lot of people, and I will see you all over the weekend.